To date, about 3,600 species of snakes are known, but only the king cobra can be considered a stranger among its own. How did it happen? Let's figure it out. Let's go. The king cobra is really a unique kind of snake. While the vast majority of them hunt mammals, insects, lizards, frogs, or even fish, this snake has chosen for itself the strangest and most frightening menu. She devours her own kind. And without particularly choosing, anyone who didn't have time to crawl away fast enough will go to food. And by fast enough, I mean really fast. The cobra itself moves on land at a speed of about 6 kilometers per hour, plus it swims well, but here's what its typical fight with a thin-tailed climbing runner looks like. This snake has black and yellow scales. Look, it seems that the cobra literally hypnotized the victim, and then, a sharp throw. A few seconds are enough for the poor man to no longer be able to resist. It remains only to swallow the prey. This cobra does not chew, entirely. Thanks to its flexible jaws, it can even eat a creature many times the size of its head. Offer the royal cobra a Big Mac, and she will swallow it without batting an eye. Do snakes even know how to blink? And here is another item on the cobra menu, rat snake. It is thinner, grayer. However, what other identification signs are needed? Now she's just going to be eaten. Slowly and with pleasure, without even waiting for the poison to take effect. You see, the victim continues to be beaten. Even though the cobra has already started swallowing her, it's literally eating her alive. It is simply impossible to escape from the king cobra. If she goes hunting, she will definitely find her prey, no matter where she is hiding, even underground. Here is a cobra climbing into a hole to have lunch with a spectacled snake. How did she even know there was someone down there? It's just an incredible and wildly frightening predator. And, by the way, the spectacled snake is also a damn poisonous creature. Some researchers claim that 1 gram of its dried poison can kill 140 medium-sized dogs. What does the king cobra think about this? But she doesn't care. You can't hide from it underground. Maybe it will be possible to hide in the water? No, as I said, king cobras swim well for short distances, and even more so they will easily get into the water to pull out another spectacled snake. Cobras always get what they want. What is it about if even elephants are afraid of these snakes? And do not think that everything in the world scares them, even harmless mice. Elephants just don't like mice, because they are small and flicker. It's a completely different story with king cobras. The fact is that one venomous bite is enough to kill an adult elephant, and I think elephants know about it. And who wants to meet a creature that can kill you without straining? But why are king cobras so dangerous? Couldn't nature one day just decide to create a species that terrifies everyone else? To understand this, first you need to clarify something. There are several species of animals on our planet that are immune to poisons. Among them are mongooses, some hedgehogs, skunks, possums, and of course honeyeaters. Since they all hunt snakes, in the process of evolution they simply managed to adapt to deadly bites. Someone, like hedgehogs, has a weaker immune system. At the same time, the honey badger is a real monster of the animal world, capable, it seems, of killing and eating any snake he wants. There are also less obvious examples. For example, certain sea eels are immune to the bites of sea snakes, and ground squirrels in some areas of California are able to cope with the bite of a viper. Evolution also did not leave the royal cobras without gifts. Their venom is not considered the most dangerous in the world, and cobras have not managed to become simply more poisonous. But this did not prevent them from participating in the arms race with the rest of the poisonous snakes. It turned out that to become the most dangerous snake on the planet, it is enough just to produce more neurotoxin. King cobras have so much of it that one bite is enough to kill 20 people in just a few minutes. Or one elephant, but in a couple of hours. The venom of the king cobra affects the respiratory centers of the brain, causing respiratory arrest and heart failure. But that's not all. It is not by chance that I have listed the species that can boast immunity to poisons. It sounds a bit strange, but the king cobra also has such immunity. Being the largest venomous snake in the world, it is completely immune to the poisons of other snakes, which it prefers to eat. What do we have in the end? A huge venomous snake with immunity to poisons. Sounds like someone's nightmare. No wonder king cobras are real killing machines. Well, to kill snakes, to be precise, because, fortunately, they don't hunt people or elephants. It seems to me that king cobras are ready to attack at any time, even if it happens shortly after birth. You heard right. To start killing their own kind, these snakes need very little time. They want to eat, which means they will get their food. Consider it an olive sea snake. Thank you, my compliments to the cook. But it just doesn't happen that someone is always lucky, even if that someone is a king cobra. This one is clearly having a bad day. She was just born and immediately became a victim of a crested crocodile. And what about the other animals with which cobras share territory? I will not consider mongooses, monkeys, birds. Let's look at the really dangerous predators, the Bengal tiger. This inspires respect, but not for the royal cobra. Usually big cats try to stay away from these snakes, so as not to get their deadly bite. However, there is a known case when a royal cobra was found in the stomach of a dead tiger. Guess what he died of? That's right, from the poison. The Philippine cobra is one of the many venomous snakes found in the Philippines, and it rightly fears the royal one because it is part of its menu. If you suddenly see a fight between these two snakes, you know who to bet on. The Komodo dragon is a real modern dragon, most likely also poisonous. Its habitat does not overlap with the real life of the king cobra, but if the meeting did happen, I think the snake would simply not have the strength to bite through the thick skin. Eurasian brown bear. Well, there's no chance here. He is smaller than an elephant, so he will most likely die after one bite if he angers the royal cobra. I know what you were thinking. What happens if two king cobras start fighting among themselves? Well, scientists know that sometimes the female kills the male. If mating does not go according to plan, sometimes the male kills the female. But there are also real snake duels. No, not even jousting, according to all the rules of snake etiquette. At a certain age, male king cobras begin to travel in search of a partner, and sometimes they come across other males instead of a female. Awkward. Anyway, if such a meeting takes place, then it develops into a duel, during which no one bites anyone. The males seem to entwine each other and try their best to pin the opponent to the ground. This behavior is often confused with courtship, although it is actually a classic wrestling competition, except that the rules are not very clear, but on the other hand, who would explain them? Cobras are generally not very talkative. However, some information can be obtained without talking to snakes. The king cobra has at least one opponent in the snake world who can match its strength. And this is python. Yes, their clashes may well end like this. Try to understand who won. It seems that speed decides everything. If the king cobra manages to bite the enemy in the head area, then he is guaranteed to die. But the python can immediately grab the royal cobra, just squeezing it in the last embrace. There is nothing surprising here. According to research, on average, a python exerts a pressure of about 300 millimeters of mercury on its victim. If you think about it, it's not that much. But the python does not need to squeeze its victim until it suffocates. It is enough just to cause irreparable damage to her internal organs, and this happens very quickly. And yet the population of king cobras is rapidly decreasing not because of the action of pythons. They're not monkeys to bring other species to the brink of extinction. However, the number of king cobras decreased by 30% from 1935 to 2010 years. Guess who, or rather what caused it? Yeah, deforestation is to blame for everything. King cobras prefer to live where there are a lot of trees, and when there are fewer of them, snakes begin to look for a new home. And do you know where they are crawling? To people. Actually, usually king cobras try to stay away from people. We are not on their menu, and besides, we are a danger. But lately unpleasant encounters with snakes are happening more and more often. By the way, scientists don't know if king cobras exist in the world. Well, if deforestation continues, we will soon find out about everything. And, most likely, we will get to know cobras much closer than we would like. I'm not going to say anything about ecology and all that, but just think, would you be happy about such a meeting? I can't speak for all of humanity, but I would prefer to stay as far away from the king cobras as possible. Preferably somewhere on another continent. And yet there is a place where these snakes are not just loved, but also bred specifically. Welcome to the snake village in Thailand. The villagers have been raising and taming king cobras for decades, all for the sake of attracting tourists who come in droves to see unusual pets. However, lately it has become increasingly difficult to get food for pets. Well, you have already understood why. But this does not stop the locals from having a very peculiar entertainment. Boxing with the king cobra. How did this even occur to anyone? It is not surprising that in this village almost every resident has lost something. At best, these are fingers. It's a shame, of course, but it's not such a big fee to literally kick one of the most dangerous snakes in the world in the face. Just in case, don't try to repeat it. Take care of your fingers and see you later.